Good morning everyone, it's Peter Zolms, Griniflix Adventure 8, and welcome to another video. Today I'm talking about lithium power stations, and iTechworld have sent me the new 500p lithium power station, and this is the previous version of the 500p power station as well, so I'll be able to compare the two together, just see what the differences are. Now, if it's the first time to my channel, then welcome, and if you haven't already subscribed, do subscribe, press the notifications, you'll be notified when the next video is out. My channel is about photography and also adventure travel, and occasionally I throw some investment tips here and there. The reason for investment tips is so that you can free up time and money so you can get on with your adventure travel or your passion for photography. Now, with the power stations, I am an affiliate to iTechworld. What that means is that I can give you a discount code if you are interested in any of the iTechworld products. That's power stations, lithium batteries, connectors, solar blankets. You can go to their website, you can see all sorts of things that are available by iTechworld, and if you use Adventure 8 as a discount code, you get 10% off your entire purchase. Adventure 8 discount code, so that will be in the link and also in the description in the video as well. Okay, so let's talk about these two units. Now, I do already have this one in my Troopy, which is stuck in Central Australia right now. Now, on that point, I'm planning another trip from Central Australia, from Alice Springs back to Sydney. That's going to be a 2-week trip, and the route that we can take will depend on the time and also the weather conditions. But it will be an adventure journey. It will be around photography as well. If you are interested in joining me on that tour, then maybe connect with me, and then we can talk about what options there are. Going through around Lake Eyre, maybe north, or anyway, somehow the route is yet to be determined, but the journey could be as early as January or February of 2022. If you are interested in joining me in my Troopy, I can probably take up to 3 people, probably max, ideally 1 or 2 people, and the cost will be shared amongst my guests, obviously, for the tour. But anyway, if you're interested in coming along on the tour, then please do connect with me through either adventure8.com.au or make connection through the YouTube video here, make comments, whatever, and we can talk. All right, so we're going to do a couple of things today. We don't have a lot of, you can see from the conditions here, we've got a cloudy day, so that means the solar blanket that I have from iTechworld will not be providing full charge, but at least we can connect so you can see what's going on. I've also got a solar panel up on my roof here, which I'll be able to connect to these units so you can see exactly the charging rate, etc. on these cloudy days. The main differences between the two units, the older and the newer version of the 500p, they look slightly different, and the configuration of outlets and inlets also changed. There's a difference in weight, so the old one is 5.8 kilograms and the new one is 8 kilograms, so you can see that it's a bit heavier. Its weight means that it also has some additional capacity as far as the rate of charging and the rate of discharge as well, so you can put on some heavier loads on this. Particularly important if you want to charge a MacBook Pro. You can charge off the USB-C plug here directly off the MacBook Pro, and it's got enough capacity for that. With the older one, you can't do it off the USB because it's rated at 30 watts, whereas on the new version it's actually rated at 60 watts. You can still charge up your MacBook Pro using the 240 volt outlet on the older unit. On the newer unit, the 240 volt outlets are actually on the back here, so you've got 2 outlets instead of 1 that you had on the other. On the older one you've only got 1, on the newer one you've got 2, so that's one major difference. Otherwise the other connectors are similar. The actual physical size is probably similar. So you can see they take up about the same amount of space in your car, so wherever you find you want to put it in the car, it's convenient. The handles go down like that. On the old unit there was an on-off button, so as soon as you press it you can actually see the screen come up here. The new one, there is no on-off button. You basically just turn on the device that you want. Now the one big difference is the screen is actually much brighter on the new one compared to the old one, so that's a benefit, particularly in bright daylight. And then depending on which outlets you want to use, you actually turn them on. So if you want to use a 12-volt outlet, then you just press that and you turn it on, and you can see that the output is turned on. Okay, so the cables that come with the unit is a charger, 240-volt charger, so you can connect to your 240 volts there, and then you'll just put the input and then you'd be charging away. This unit here is actually a high capacity again compared to the older units. This one here is rated at 3 amps 72 watts output when plugged into 240 volts, whereas this one here is rated at 96 watts 4 amps, so the charging rate is going to be faster with this new unit by about 20% faster charging rate compared to the older unit. These connectors are different, so they're not compatible. So that one is the old unit. It's a different connector here. You need the larger one for that. The new unit is there, like so. If you are using the 240 volts at the back here, then you cannot be charging at the same time. So the 240 volt outlet only is active when you're not charging the unit. If you're using the 12 volt supply, any of these outputs here, you can actually be charging the unit through your solar cells or through an auxiliary battery on your car. You can be charging and consuming power at the same time, so that's the advantage of sticking to the 12 volt arrangement. Nevertheless, if you want portable power, then you've got portable power using the 240 volts. Okay, my test subject will be this. This is a thermos that I recently got. Now, on camping while on the road and making lunch and making a cup of tea or coffee or whatever, I normally use a gas stove to boil up some water or to make a coffee. But I thought I'd try out this 12 volt thermos. It's rated at about 120 watts. Alright, the task of making a cup of tea is very straightforward. Take my thermos, put in my 600 milliliters of water. There's the builder. So this unit was rated at 800 millimeters, but of milliliters of water. But the reality is it's 600 milliliters. That's fine. So one of these bottles. And then it's just a matter of plugging it into the power station or into your 12 volt outlet, wherever that may be. Okay. Alright. It's plugged in and it's drawing 112 watts, which is what it's rated at. And the time is precisely 9 AM. With this thermos you can actually have the lid on while you're charging or while you're actually heating up the water as well. It's not leak proof. It does sort of leak a little bit, but not too much. So if it does fall over, you're not going to make too much of a mess. So, which is great. And when it's actually heating up, this light here is red. And when it's finished it goes green, and you can actually just keep it plugged in because it will just cycle red green as it maintains the thermos temperature. Okay, so let's go back to the power station. What's happening here? It's drawing 113 watts, which is fine. The fan is not activated. That's one of the big thing I noticed between this new unit and the old unit is that the old unit, as soon as you get to around 40 watts, either charging or 40 watts drawn from the unit, then the internal fan is activated, which just means there's additional noise. I find that the fan gets activated on this somewhere around the 150 watt mark or higher. If you consider that my charging rate or my heating rate is at 114 watts and a normal kettle in a house is rated at 2400 watts, so that's 20 times faster. So if a normal kettle takes, for this amount of water, takes a minute to actually boil up, well then that same amount of water on this device will take 20 minutes to boil up. As a comparison, so just to set expectations. So the idea of a thermos is a great idea, but it's going to take a long time to boil up. Okay, I can hear it boiling away, and the outside of the unit starts to get quite warm, which you would expect. It is a double layer. At the top is actually hotter, which also you would expect as hot air rises. And I reckon the green light will be coming out very shortly. So I've got the lid on completely right now, but you can actually obviously have that off as you boil. You can see the steam coming off, and there's sort of bubbles forming inside. And when you want to pour, all you do is just push down the lever here, and then you can actually pour as well. So it's a great design, love it. Okay, it's done. From red to green, and then it just turns off and the power has gone to zero. The thermostat in there gets triggered again and the temperature drops, then it'll turn back automatically as well. And then you can just pour hot steaming water with a cup of tea. Cheers. Well, that's plenty hot, so I don't think it's quite boiling, but pretty close to boiling. I've connected a bunch of wires now, so let's see what the sequence of charging is. I've got my kettle, so that's drawing 110 watts, and that's from the new power station, 500p. But I've now actually got an input charge as well, so I'm actually inputting around 50 watts, and I've got this connected to the old 500p. So the readings are a little bit different. I'm not entirely sure whether it's just the calibration of the units that's different, but it's showing here that the output is 47 watts and the input is 50 watts. So I'm just guessing there's a difference of about 5% in the actual meter calibration as opposed to different wattage. The output, yes, so the output is 46 watts. Now the input, I'm also charging this unit. I'm charging this from my AGM battery here, the lead acid battery. So I've got 45 watts going in from this battery, and 46 watts or thereabouts going out to the other power station. Alright, so what's feeding this battery? Well, that battery is being fed by the DC-DC charger here, and it's got a solar panel on the roof of my Hilux here, and that's drawing a little bit of that's providing a little bit of charge to the battery from this cloudy day that we have. The quickest way to boil up water, without a doubt, is gas. But it's nice to have some sort of an electrical option when you've got more time, or when you just let this heat up and then you've got hot water, and being a thermos, it'll just stay hot and you can top it up all the time and have hot water on supply as you need it, rather than cooking up hot water on the gas stove or on a fire. So it's an option, and that's where the power station provides a great benefit. Portable power wherever you need it. There'll be more on these power stations in the future, but at least that's a good intro for you. If you are looking at power stations, if you're looking at lithium batteries, if you're looking at solar blankets, then you might want to check out iTechworld website, which is itechworld.com.au. And then if you find something that you like, you go to checkout. At checkout, there is a discount code area where you can just put in the discount code. If you put in Adventure 8, you will get 10% discount off your entire order. Hope that helps you. Okay, well, thanks very much for watching the channel. Thanks very much for watching the video. If it's the first time to my channel, then please press subscribe and notification. You'll be notified when the next video is out. And if you like the video, then please give it a thumbs up. That helps with the YouTube algorithms and make sure that people who have an interest in this sort of video get to see it. So thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks, cheers, bye.